like you to know my favorite vocalist and America's #1 song stylist, Miss Billie Holiday.
Hey there, baby, make up your mind, 'cause I've been waiting such a long, long time. Now, baby,
Billie Holiday, born Eleanor Fagan, was born on April 7, 1915 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Considered one of the best jazz vocalists of all time, Holiday had a thriving career as a jazz singer for many years before she lost her battle with substance abuse. Growing up, Holiday spent most of her time in Maryland with relatives. Her mother had her when she was just a teen, and her father, a jazz musician, abandoned them when she was a young girl. She was often left in the care of others while her mother was working. At the age of 10, Holiday was sexually assaulted by a neighbor and placed at the House of Good Shepherd in protective custody for allegedly seducing her attacker. After her release, she rejoined her mother. The two became involved in prostitution and were eventually sent to prison. They were later released when Holiday was 14. It was during this time that she became acquainted with jazz. In the early 1930s, she began singing in Harlem nightclubs and adopted the stage name Billie Holiday, a combination of Billy Dove, a popular film star from the 20s, and musician Clarence Holiday, her probable father. Before long, she was performing with some of the biggest names in jazz. After being discovered by John Hammond in 1933, she met friend and musical partner Lester Young, who nicknamed her Lady Day.
That relationship is one of the most beautiful parts of her whole life story. They were such close friends. They were soulmates. They weren't even lovers, according to their contemporaries. They just delighted in each other's company. He'd call anybody lady of any gender, and he dubbed her Lady Day. They were just meant for each other musically.
Though her recordings at this time aimed mainly at the black jukebox audience, her music caught the attention of musicians throughout America, and soon other singers were working in Holiday's light, rhythmic manner.
She didn't jump around a lot. All she would do is stand in the spotlight, have her head back a little bit, and she would snap her fingers. And, she had you in the palm of her hand.
Holiday joined Count Basie in 1937 and Artie Shaw in 1938, becoming one of the first black singers to be featured with an all-white orchestra. At around the same time, she recorded Strange Fruit for Commodore, a song that was greatly admired by intellectuals, and soon after, Holiday began to acquire a popular following. While her career was taking off, Holiday's private life was deteriorating. Already a heavy drinker, she was introduced to heroin by her first husband, trombonist Jimmy Monroe, an addict himself. Much of the money she made went to supporting their habits.
She was making $1,000 a week, and that in the 40s was a lot of money. And she was spending it all on drugs. And it was just pathetic. I mean, she didn't have a nightgown to sleep in. She slept in old evening gowns. She had a lot of those.
Her situation worsened when her mother died. Billie sought treatment for heroin addiction but was eventually arrested for drug possession in 1947 and ended up serving 10 months in federal prison after a highly publicized trial. Her health suffered and she lost most of her substantial earnings. Her voice coarsened through age and mistreatment. Although she continued to sing and record and to tour frequently until the mid-1950s, it was no longer with her former spirit and skill. Her voice had become rougher and more vulnerable. This, combined with occasional brushes with narcotics agents, made her last years difficult, although she continued to record frequently. During 1954, Holiday toured Europe to great acclaim, and her 1956 autobiography brought her even more fame. She made her last great appearance in 1957 on the CBS television special The Sound of Jazz with Webster, Lester Young, and Coleman Hawkins. During her final year, she made 2 more appearances in Europe before collapsing in May of 1959 of heart and liver disease. Still obtaining heroin while on her deathbed, Holiday was arrested for possession in her private hospital room and died on July 17, 1959, her system completely unable to fight both withdrawal and heart disease at the same time. For WICR, I'm Jaclyn Falcone.